first met Jamie in '94, I think it was, at a Morbid Angel crowbar. He claims it's suffering.
I think Suffocation was on.
It could have been on it, could have been on it. At Pearl Street in somewhere in Massachusetts.
It was right before my 16th birthday.
He was about 7, I was like 40.
But I think at that Morbid Angel crowbar show, that was the one where I got the guts to like come and be like, meet you and hang out. And Kirk was always like,
it wasn't a nice.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a crowbar on Beavis and Butthead and Headbangers Ball, and
were you laughing at my face?
I was loving it. I thought it was great, you know, because and Kirk was like so down to earth and just, you know, treated me like a friend right off the bat.
But after that, we just hit it off. I would go see Crowbar. I even booked Crowbar where I lost my shirt and took a bat, but it was a way for me to get Hatebreed to be able to be the support man, because I would call their booking agent at the time and try to get Hatebreed on all the Crowbar shows. But you guys were out with Napalm Death.
Yes.
And I paid you to come to the Sports Palace in New Britain, Connecticut.
Oh, I remember.
And my old drummer, Nick Papantanio, one of my old friends, huge Crowbar fan, we were so psyched to just have you guys come and play, you know, the show. And we did a tour shortly after that.
We were the biggest Crowbar fans, but we did the U.S. tour. First time we played Obedience Through Suffering on cassette so much that it got stuck in the band cassette player, and we couldn't get it out. So we just listened to it the whole tour.
I appreciate that, Jim.
Yeah, and so here we are now, you know, having completed a project record together.
And we're very proud of it, and we should be.
We are. I think it's some of our best work.
Crushes. It's great, man. Very good.
How many of y'all like to drink tequila? How many of y'all like orange juice? I want to know how many of you motherfuckers tonight feel like rock and roll?
Sorry.
We will go to the car, listen to some songs.
This was one of the most fun ones to record, and it was one of the first songs we recorded. And this went on the Headbangers Ball soundtrack. It's called Buried in Black.
And I think the whole point of the project was to do something different than Crowbar, something different than Hatebreed. Jimmy had a lot of stuff written that he couldn't do with Hatebreed.
Yeah.
And it was good to, you know, stretch out and do something different and have dynamics and different, you know, melodies and whatnot. I mean, Hatebreed just,
yeah.
And so is Crowbar, you know. It might be slow, but it's still a sledgehammer. Yeah. So it's like, you know, we try to have a little melody here and there, and we just do stuff different. It was cool for me to play some faster stuff that, you know, Jimmy had written.
Yeah, for me doing the southerny, like doing
the slower, it was like a total, you know, it was good. Good experience for both of us.
And the sounds meld together so well, and it's such a cohesive record where every song has its own dynamic, and every song has its own personality. We had influences from, you know, Thin Lizzy and Motorhead and Blue Oyster Cult and Deep Purple, right out to Death and Pantera and Iron Maiden. Yeah, we played around with a lot of riffs and did stuff that we would never, and beats and tempos and stuff that we would never do. Other bands. And then there's some traditional stuff too that sounds very Crowbar and very Hatebreed, but it mixes well and has its own.
I think when we first started, it literally was Hate Bar,
yeah,
whatever.
We were Hatebreed. Yeah, we were calling it
Hatebreed. It was like Hatebreed riffs glued with Crowbar riffs. But during the course of writing, and we canned some of that shit, it became, we actually adapted our, you know, to our own. We actually had a sound for our band.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just Crowbar and Hatebreed riffs glued together anymore, and it became its own entity a little bit, which was really good.
But you gotta like really Kirkify it, or I'd have like a Hatebreed style riff. I'd be like, it's too Hatebreed style. Let's Kirkify it, and then he would add his personality to it, add twists and turns or a different chug or
a lot of bends and tails. You know, he would come up with something that he said, because you're white, and I come from the South, and even though I'm white, I'm black. I know how to twist it up and slip it and slide a little bit, bend it a little bit,
And add the
pull
song.
on the beat a little bit, and it works beautifully. It's a beautiful melody.
Thank you to everybody who's watched. Thank you to everybody who's anticipating the record. We can't wait to get it out. Keep checking back here for Webisode 2.